Hello everyone, Tammy here. Welcome to my channel. So today I am going to work in this purple book that I am calling the mini grimoire. Um, just because I think when I was originally making it or starting to make it, I was thinking that it would be my grimoire, or I was thinking it was going to be like maybe a Halloweeny, darkish type journal. Um, and then I put it away for a while, and then I ended up making my own large grimoire. And so, but it has kind of that type of, you know, paper in it, darkish, um, mystical type paper in it. So my thought was, so I printed these out. At on 5x7. So I printed them out smaller, and then I just trimmed the sides down. And I was thinking, instead of um, putting, this is what I'm thinking. Instead of putting the grimoire together, using everything, using all the digitals and all the headings, that I would leave this part to whoever gets the journal. So you might, or whoever gets a journal might not want to have a rituals heading. They might not do spell work. Like I don't do spell work, so I didn't put that in my grimoire. I do tarot. Someone else might not. So I was thinking that I would leave these loose in the book, and that I would put them in a pocket in the front. And then, so whoever gets this journal, it will be kind of like, you can add things and put things in where you think you might want them. And, sorry, just my hands are super dry. So that's my thought. So I have a couple of, they're nice, strong pockets. They are, I want to gusset them instead of gluing like the edges to the paper, because then they won't be big enough and for these things to fit in. So I thought that, I mean, I know that you all know how to gusset and all that, but I just thought I'd start there. Like I need somewhere to start, and that seemed like a good place. So I just pulled a bunch of stuff out, and I was just kind of playing around with some things. So these are they're nice and hard, sturdy pieces. And I thought I would gusset them with some cardstock type paper. So I feel like I had a piece. And they were kind of spendy. And I'm like, ugh, I don't really want to spend that money. So I did find it's a very, very small deck. So just let me show you real quick. So it's called After Dinner Amusements Family Time 50 Conversation Starters. And this is just a little, they're just little cards. They're pretty cute. They're less than they're like just shy of 2 inches square. So so I think this will help me talk a little more in my videos. So I'm just going to pull this one right off the top. Do you believe in ghosts? Have you ever seen one? Yes, I believe in ghosts. I don't know that I've seen one, but I have felt them. When I was in high school, I had a friend, and she lived in this, it was just this amazing house. It was big and old and gothic looking. It looked like, this is perfect. It looked like the house from the Addams Family, like from the outside. So it was, you know, just large. It had interesting nooks and crannies on the outside. There was a big like metal fence around it, black metal. And I and my friend lived there, and it was fairly close to the house that my mom grew up in. So it was, you know, in that neighborhood. So my mom grew up in the same neighborhood, same, you know, general area where they ended up settling down and where I grew up. And so so I went to her house, and, you know, we were there and we were just doing stuff. And well, I would say when I first entered the house, I was like, oh wow, this house is this house has some history. Like, I could just feel it. And then there was a few of us. I think there was 3 of us that went to her house, and as I was there, I got more and more and more uncomfortable. And I started feeling sick. I was just like, there's something going on with this house. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't like it. And I didn't stay very long. And, you know, I don't remember if I said anything to my friend. You know, I was, you know, when we're young, we don't want to, you know, hurt our friends' feelings. And, you know, I just, yeah, it was just weird. So then later I was telling my mom about it, and, you know, and I told her where it was, that it was close by. I think it was even on the same street. Only the house was, it was on this weird road that was a really, really short road. And it was right behind a main thoroughfare, so like a main street, and it was across the street from a church. So the back of the church faced this house, and the front of the church faced the main street. And so, you know, I was telling her this, and she goes, "Oh, the haunted house." And I was like, what?" And she said, "Oh yeah, when I was a kid, that was the haunted house." And I said, "Oh, well, my friend lives there now." And she goes, "Oh, that's weird." She said there was rumors of a you know, like a mentally disabled child that was kept in the closet, like locked in a closet, and people could hear, you know, this child screaming. And yeah, that's the, you know, I don't know, that was just from my mom from growing up there. Okay, so I think this worked well. This is a little loose off of, so I'll glue this down. But these pockets are really sturdy, and you know, every time I touch them to put them in a book or something, I'm like, these are really, they're too thick to be like a journal card or just even a normal pocket on a normal page like this. But I think it's perfect for what I did here, to gusset it and then put those things in there. So I was noticing that this corner, like, so I'm gonna actually take these out because I don't want these to get messed up. I'm gonna leave that in there though. So anyway, that's, you know, that's the first example I have. I do have another thing that happened in a house we were living in. So what I'm going to do now, before I start talking about my story, is I'm going to leave the front page blank. Well, let's just see. I'm just going to start filling stuff in on what's already in the book. So let's see what we got, and then I'll tell you. So yes, so I, in the last house that we lived in before we moved here, there was definitely some kind of spirit in the house. And I'm not sure, I think it was a younger, like a child, because the things that happened were kind of mischievous. So, and the one thing that happened a couple of times to me is like a tugging on the back of my like sweater or hoodie or whatever I was wearing in the house. I could feel a tug kind of from a little lower than the middle of my back. So like a little kid would be tugging, and I'd turn around and I'd be like, what, who's there? And there's no one there. That happened a few times. And then one time I had a couple friends over, and I went downstairs to get something, and then I was coming back up. Oh, I think I probably went down to the freezer to get something and came back up, and they were standing there, and they're like, whoa, we both just saw a shadow. They saw a shadow that went, you know, from like where the dining table is, it was either into the kitchen or out of the kitchen, and they both saw it. And I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. And so then, yeah, we just talked about that. And so my friend's house, I got a super creeped out feeling. Like, I don't like being here. I don't want to be here. I'm going to leave now. I only went over there a couple of times because I was just extremely uncomfortable. This spirit at, you know, my house, I did not have that reaction, like, at all. It was totally, I felt no negative vibes or anything. So yeah, so that's my do I believe in ghosts? Yes. Have I ever seen one? No. And that still holds. I didn't see the shadow, so I don't know. I can say that since my mom has passed, there have been a few times where, I'll come back to this one, where my husband and I will both hear something, and something very like odd, and we'll be like, did you hear that? And he's like, yeah, I heard that. Did you hear that? And it's not, you know, we've lived here 6 years now, so we know the sounds of the house. So yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to keep going through. I know there's a pocket in here that I have not, yeah, right here. So I'm going to want to collage this up. So let's see what I got for, I know I have scraps. Let's see if I can find them. Okay, so this is going to go over here. Oh, I have some stuff over here that I didn't know I had. This will be good for decorating the collage. So, and then another thing to note, I don't know if this technically counts as like a ghost story. But when I was pregnant with my daughter, my husband and I we could not agree on a name. Like we were just going back and forth and back and forth, and the names I like he didn't like, and the names he liked I didn't like. So we just kept going, back and forth. And one day, I was probably 7 or 8 months, maybe 8 months pregnant, and I was just sitting, looking out the window. This is like 2 houses ago. My daughter is 28, for those of you who are wondering. So it was like 28 plus years ago. And I was just looking out the window. I was doing nothing, actually. I might have had a cup of tea, and I was just looking out the window at our garden. We had a really pretty garden at this house, and yeah, I was just looking out the window, and all of a sudden I just hear the name Emma, and I was like, wait, what? Say that again? What? Because Emma, so 28 years ago, Emma was not the super popular name that it is now. It was just not, people weren't naming their kids Emma yet. And so I just couldn't, I was like, oh, that's so weird. Where did that even come from? And I really liked the name Christine, but didn't want it for a first name, just because it's a common name. So yeah, so I was like, Emma Christine, I really like that. And so of course I told my husband. He's like, ew, no. So I was like, well, I kind of want that name. I'm kind of attached. And so then when she was born, we still hadn't decided, but when she was born, I had a C-section, and so the baby and the mom at that time, they're separated, and they took care of her and took care of me, and I went back to the recovery room, and then Scott brought her into me, and he said, here's your Emma Christine. And so that was it. He like took one look at her and was like, yep, that's Emma Christine. But when I first held her, I was looking at her, and even as a newborn, she had this sassy sparkle in her eye that reminded me of my grandpa. And I was like, oh, wow. And my grandpa was, he had been dead 5 years by then. Yeah, he had been dead 4 or 5 years at this time. And so, he never got to meet, he loved kids. Like my brother and I were like the highlight of his life. Like he just loved children. And so it was, it was really sad that he passed away before my husband and I had children. But I was like, I just took one look at her, and that little mischievous look in her eyes, and I was like, oh, I was like, my grandpa is your guardian angel. So when she was growing up, I always had a picture of my grandpa in her room. I told her that was her guardian angel, and she loved that. But what I'm getting at is that about 3 months or so after she was born, um, I I think I was talking to my grandma, so my grandpa's wife, and she said something about, and it was like almost in passing. I don't really remember the exact sequence of it, but she said, "Oh yeah, it's really cool that she has the same name as your grandpa's mom." And I was like, "What? Wait, what?" And it turns out that my grandpa's mom's name was Emma, and I did not know that. She was never in my life. She was long dead by the time I was born. But I was like, oh wow, that's fascinating. And so all of this to say that that name came to me. So I do want to note that it came to me while I was doing nothing. So for those of you not following along with my other videos, I do Self-Care Sunday. And this past Sunday, it was to do nothing. So, and that the name just popped into my head from virtually from nowhere. And it was him. I'm convinced that it was him. So he named her, and he decided to, watch over her and be her guardian angel. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, that's not technically a ghost story, but that was definitely spirit speaking to me. And I believe it was my grandpa. So that's that. And to answer your questions, if anyone's wondering, yes, I do watch paranormal shows. I am pretty particular about the ones I watch. I watch Ghost Hunters, and I have watched Ghost Hunters from the very beginning. I love their format. I love that they take a lot of time to figure out a logical explanation for why someone's hearing something or seeing something. So they, I guess you'd call that debunking. I love that. So I love that they come at it from, okay, we're going to figure out if we can, see if there is an explanation for it. And before we, just go on saying that, this is a spirit or whatever. So that show. And then from that show, there is there was two people that were on that show who started their own show called Kindred Spirits. And I also like what they do. They do a little different. They come at it from a well, this spirit is here. Why is it here? How can we help it to move on? And I really like that. So those are the main two that I watch. Every now and then I'll watch, well, there's another one called Ghost Brothers. I've only watched that a couple of times. There's another one called Ghost Adventures, which I know a lot of people watch that show. They're a little too dramatic for me, but I have watched it a couple of times. If I'm bored and I've watched, all my paranormal shows, twice already, then I will try something else. But nothing seems to, like I just like I like those two the best. It's really hard for me to try a different format. I also like, my daughter and I are huge Bigfoot fans, and so there's a lot of Bigfoot shows. But and there's one called Finding Bigfoot, and I do enjoy that one, but my all-time favorite is called Expedition Bigfoot, and that's only had 3 seasons or 4 seasons. And again, they have a scientist on their crew, and I really like that. So I like that they, again, they try to come at it with logical explanations. But I do think Bigfoot exists, or some kind of creature like that. And it's fun. It's fun to think about that stuff, and I don't know. I think it's kind of weird because sometimes I get the feeling that, like a couple times on this Expedition Bigfoot show, it feels like Bigfoot is almost a spirit. Like some of the things that they come across and some of the sightings that they have, it's like it's kind of fascinating to me, because it's like, and I'll say that to my daughter even. I'll be like, this feels really, really like a spirit. Like this feels like something that we would see on Ghost Hunters, or one of those type of shows. And she's like, yeah, it really is. It's really interesting. And so yeah, it's fun. The only problem is they don't, shows anymore they don't have a lot of episodes. So, 8 weeks and you're done, and you have to wait for, however long it takes for the next episodes to come out. But yeah, so that's fun. So those conversation starters, yeah, that's kind of fun. It really will show you how slow I am at crafting, and how I lose my scissors. It's why I have a bunch of pairs. So I think I'll just fold that down. So what about all of you? I'm very curious if any of you believe in ghosts, and or have you seen a ghost, or have you just experienced something that you can't really explain, but you don't really want to call it a ghost? I get that. Totally get that. It's kind of embarrassing to say that I do believe in ghosts, but I really don't care. I'm like, yeah, I don't. I'm at a stage in my life where it's like, yeah, I don't care. Okay, so I'm gonna cut. Maybe that one won't fit. I'm looking for something to put right here. I think this one might fit, like that color too. Yeah, so I'd love to hear what your experiences, if any, are. Carol, when I see video of your place in Idaho, I'm always like looking in the hills, seeing if I can see Bigfoot somewhere, because that looks like where Bigfoot might hang out. So yeah, so I my um well, it doesn't fit exactly. Shoot. My the guy that does my hair, he's Native American, and he the tribe that he belongs to is it's way out. It's oh god, I can't remember the name of the tribe. Darn it. Anyway, their land is at Nia Bay area in Washington State, which is way out in Nothingville. And he had a recording one time of this just scary, terrifying, like screaming wail. I can't even describe it. It didn't sound like anything that I've ever heard before. And I was like, what the heck? And I think he sent it to Finding Bigfoot show, and I think they might have come out because they were like, yeah, that sounds like old Sasquatch there. So yeah, so it's not just me. Listen to me making excuses for my crazy ideas about things. So now my videos are going to be longer and have not as much accomplishment because I'm talking too much. I don't know. Which way do you guys like it better? Okay, one more spot right here. I wonder. No, that won't fit. Right there. And I think I'll call this a video. I don't know how I got this turned upside down. Okay, there. So that's that pocket. And then this side's done. So, thinking for decorating, Oh, that's kind of cool. And then this vintage. Yeah, I like that. Let's see. Oh, I like it over here. I'm not inking every single thing that I'm putting in here, but I do want to do this. Okay, there's that. I like that. I like that because it's a colorful kind of background, and then this matches the papers. I like that. So what to put here? Maybe just a sun with yeah, that was easy. Okay, so there's that one. So I do know that I have at least one more to do right here. And let's see if there's any more. Oh yeah, here's another one. Okay, so I'll probably decorate those off camera, and I'll do them very similar to how I did that one. Ooh, and then here's a bag. It's nice. Need to do that one. Okay. So thanks for joining me today. Didn't get a whole lot done, but it was fun. I'm gonna decorate up those other 2 envelopes, or 3, 2, 3, whatever. And then yeah, then we'll do some more decorating and putting things in and see how it goes. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you have not already, please hit subscribe so you can see what I'm doing on my junk journaling creative mixed media journey. And yeah, thank you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.